My name is Alan Shorts. I'm the CEO of Tango.
Yeah, and I'm Mark Provo. I'm a CEO of Tango.
The genesis of it was Mark and I were both living in New York City after university, and we were consumers in the hospitality space. And it was like every Friday or Saturday when you go out in the city, every bar was just crammed shoulder to shoulder with unable to serve drinks at kind of peak capacity. So as, kind of just, people who like to explore interesting problems, we were asking each other, why is that the case? What's their limit on their production capacity that's leading to all these customers and all this lost revenue? So we actually just started diving into it from that perspective. And from there, actually, the deeper we dug into the production process of a hospitality business, the more problems we uncovered.
We went to St. Lawrence University in upstate New York together. I was captain of the soccer team and he was the captain of the tennis team. So we met through sports. And then after graduation, we both moved to New York City. We're working in finance in New York City.
The products that we have right now that we built out over the past year, we have a fully functional point of sale solution for high volume bars and enterprise restaurants, as well as a staffing solution. And in the works right now for Q1 is a table management and reservation solution. And then those are all tied kind of very intimately together into what we call our operator HQ, which is our take on the traditional admin portal, but we've really structured it as more a hospitality operating system.
So yeah, as far as the revenue cycle and whatnot goes, we kind of approach the market as, you help us design these products. One day you'll pay for them, but we saw a mutual benefit there. So as far as revenue goes, we've spent the last year really just building up the product suite to meet all the needs that they require. And we're about to launch with a couple enterprise chains, as well as maybe 10 to 15 SMBs that we've been working with closely on a more production level. If you think about just hospitality concepts are so unique in themselves, but they do have consistent verticals. Some need reservations, some of them just need to serve faster on the weekends and whatnot. So for us, we've built our product suite to be modular as well as comprehensive. So whether they have a reservation problem or a staffing problem or a labor cost problem, we can address that single most painful issue for them right off the jump, and then start building that relationship and broaden the product scope from there. So what does the customer look like? It's everybody, right? It's any hospitality business, whether it's restaurant, bar, enterprise chain, or hotels. So we've just been really working with them to identify their biggest pain points and then kind of get them behind our vision and over time land and expand within those customers. In a year, we really see having delivered, with my last question or last answer around identifying their initial pain points and then building those relationships over time. In a year, we see us having turned those initial customer success and excitement into full customers running on the full product suite and having really built out our use case for being able to solve one big problem for them and then solve, as we've seen, one door leads to 15 and 20. We kind of see a lot of ways that we can help them going forward. One
of the enterprise chains we're working with right now is we're rolling out this next week and, approaching the end of the year, about taking over basically their entire front of house operations. And the vision from day one with them has been to run their whole business on us for everything across the board, from inventory to front of house to back of house, the whole gamut. So really our vision and our goal over the coming year is to take more and more pieces of that pie and layer it onto what we can provide. So businesses like this enterprise or this mom and pops or whomever it might be can actually just hire Tango as a system to run their entire operation on and be able to fire all the other 10 systems that they use. Our vision from the beginning has to build this array of first-party systems, like I said, staffing, table management, whatever, and have them all feed into this kind of central repository. And whether it's 1 year or 4, what we're doing now is really critical, because we started off with this broad and general thesis of where we want to go, and as a result, we're not making these kind of narrow structural assumptions as we build the product, and we're building everything to be very modular, like Mark said, and to be open, knowing that as we move forward, we don't know necessarily what we're going to build, we just know that we are going to build it, and we're going to want to be able to service all those needs of customers. So for us, over the next 4 years, there's a lot of unknown. We don't know what we don't know, but we're taking the steps now to be able to service kind of however the market changes, or however the scope of the hospitality industry changes, because we've even seen that over the past year and a half of how much things have gotten shaken up. But to kind of close that point, I guess in 4 years we really see ourselves expanding across the United States and Canada, and potentially beyond that. We're going to try to scale really fast, and we think we have the products to do that, both kind of physical products, but as well as fully digital. 10 minutes of onboarding required to get started. So we really want to see our endpoints across the industry as quickly as possible. The people that we get to work with, I tell people all the time, is we're fortunate. We've got a team of 12 now, and we've been lucky to be able to hire all people within our own network. So it's either direct friends or friends of friends. And I feel like I'm picking a dodgeball team and get to pick the best players. It's like that's your dream in gym class, and it's your dream now is that we get to choose who we want to work with, and choose with this, work with the smartest people I've ever had the pleasure of meeting and knowing. It's been such a learning opportunity over the past year and a half, and each member of our team has made leaps and bounds of progress, including us, in terms of what we know now and what we didn't know 6 months, a year, 2 years ago. It's apples and oranges. So I just imagine where we are in 5 years and what we know then that we don't know now. It's just been kind of this exponential growth curve that we've been on personally, which has been an awesome journey.
Just being in hospitality, and obviously, the stories that you've heard in the last year and a half have been heartbreaking at times, but the hospitality is filled with some of the best people and the most genuine people on the planet. And I think that from day one, we entered into this industry from the consumer side, and we're all right. Like, we've got a lot of consumer problems that we can solve here, and then we started to really meet the business owners, and started hearing their stories and working with them, and being able to help some of the best people that we've ever met, succeed where they might have otherwise failed. Is really fulfilling, just across the board in the industry.
I'd say from day one, it's just, you guys have been incredibly supportive, and that running a startup is hard. It's really challenging, and having that lens on the kind of journey that we're going through and the kind of successive brick walls that we have to run through on a daily or weekly basis is you've been there to kind of help push us through those walls and in a positive way. And just being understanding, and being, especially with us, you guys, came on board right in kind of the heart of the pandemic, and having the faith in us to be able to, kind of consistently pivot into customer value, even amidst the worst thing that's ever happened to this industry, and understanding that, there are certain macroeconomic factors that, cause us to miss certain targets, and being understanding of that, and knowing that, believing in us in the long run, that we were going to deliver on the value and continue to build great products for customers. It's such an enormous opportunity, in our view, to democratize the industry, and that maybe sounds a bit grandiose, but a great kind of comparison for us is you look at Shopify, if you're familiar with that, and what they've done in the e-commerce space since 2010. Is their story was in 2010, if you wanted to start an online business, you had to be an intersection of a phenomenal programmer and someone who's really interested in e-commerce and selling things on the internet. And those were often mutually exclusive, right? And there was only a handful of people, in the world who could do both of those things well. And that's actually very similar to where hospitality is today. And right now you have to want to, be able to make really good food and drinks and provide amazing customer service, but also know how to run a business and manage your fixed costs, manage your employees, and do all this stuff that's really challenging. And often these skills are mutually exclusive. So you see a lot of, the statistic that everyone knows is that 60% of hospitality businesses fail within the first year. And our thesis is that that's largely self-inflicted and largely avoidable, and that number is artificially high. And that's because you have these people coming out of culinary school or whatever it might be, who want to make great tacos or great pancakes, but they don't know how to run the business side. And people might love their tacos and their pancakes, but if you don't know how to manage the other stuff, your business will fail. And so, as Mark said, it's kind of the artist running the gallery is a dangerous place to be. So for us, it's if we can let our software handle the science so they can focus on the art, which is really the part that customers enjoy and what makes hospitality, we're going to open up the opportunity to actually grow the size of the entire market, because people who said, well, I can't ever start a business because I don't know how to do business, I only know how to make tacos. You can actually get those people to come in and create these amazing hospitality experiences that wouldn't otherwise exist. To me, being a founder means being relentless. I think we've seen a lot of founders come and go throughout our journey, with other companies, and you've seen the smartest people in the world and some less smart people who start companies. But for us, the thing about being a founder is being relentless, but also being empathetic and being a great teammate. And we talk about this a lot, is we never could have done this journey on our own. Being a founder is being a team and making things happen is how I view it.
There's two parts to it for me. The first is identifying a need, building something that can help people. And I think that when we first started this journey, we knew that part, but we didn't know that there's all these people out there that also believe that this is a need, and that being a founder is being the person that can catalyze, that need being solved. And then the second piece of it is, I think once you find those people and they come on the team, giving them the tools to thrive. I think that just like in the people that we serve in the hospitality industry, some are really great at making tacos and really bad at running a P&L. Some are great at the opposite. And I think that identifying different shortcomings, everybody's got their different suite of skills, by giving them the tools that they need to really thrive, because they have the passion to solve the problem, but just identifying what they need to help thrive in solving that. I think rising tide lifts all ships, really. I think that from the beginning, we've had a very long and winding journey, and being a part of some accelerators, some just local startup meetups and that kind of thing. I think that the sharing of knowledge and lifting it up, we've made plenty of mistakes, but there's a lot that we've avoided because of that sharing of knowledge. So I think community really is just kind of identifying a common goal and helping each other wherever you can.
For me, I think it comes down to the fact of there's no such thing as going it alone, right? As I think about everything that led to even this point now, and being able to start having the opportunities to start a company and the opportunities before that to attend university and all that, it's I've been really spurred on by my community, whatever that's been, either my family, my friends, now my community within my own team, and the community of startup founders, the community of people who have supported us along the way, including Golden Section. So community is the people around you who are rooting you on and lifting you up and supporting you in your journey. And that's reciprocal, and you're doing that the same to those people. And so I think community is this reciprocation of values and help and everything that comes with that. I think we're unique in that the three founders, we all were friends from university. We've known each other for 10 years now. So I think the founder journey itself is maybe we're unique in this. It's that I get to work with three of my closest friends who I've known for a long time. So I think that's probably my favorite part, is I said it before, but I get the pleasure to work with really smart people, and in this case, the other founders are some of my best friends. So having the opportunity to do that professionally I feel really lucky to have that opportunity.
I have a lot of very close friends that love them to death, but with the founder journey, going in with great friends, obviously important, having those bonds, but it's the hardest thing in the world to build a successful company, in my opinion. And when you go through that, you're in the trenches and you have a special bond that forms. So I think that I absolutely love being a founder, sometimes more than others, but I think that the founder journey, going alone is an impossible task, in my opinion. Going with friends is slightly less impossible, but I think that's the thing I've really gotten out of this, is just being able to have that crutch to lean on when you need, and that bond that forms.
And balance is also important, and it's knowing when to put work aside And that's not to say there's any separation between work and life. It's just that you need to understand that, taking care of your body, your health, and all that is really one and the same of trying to be successful and trying to run a good company. So, not forgetting that, you have, other than just your investors, you have other people on your personal cap table. You have your family, you have your friends, you have these other people in your life that you have to not forget are part of this community that you've created and have lifted you up, and make balance and find time for them too, even though you're narrowly focused on what you have to do in the day in and day out. It's a place I have been. Did a trip every summer to Bermuda for 5 straight years, and it's just such a special, amazing place for me. It's a tiny little island. It's a 2-hour flight from New York City when I was living there, and it's also a special place for me. My parents did their honeymoon there, and the first time I went with them, they brought me to Bermuda to celebrate their 20th wedding anniversary. So they showed me this amazing place that was important to them, and then I fell in love with it, and then I took my fiance there, and we've gone 5 times together now. So it's just this continuation of relationships and just this awesome place. So that's my favorite, and I can't wait to go back again.
Yeah, favorite place to travel. My family for 50 years has had a bit of a family. Compound sounds more grandiose than it actually is, but it's a bit of a collection of houses out on the east coast of Canada. Growing up, people had local summer homes and that kind of thing, and we'd only be able to do one annual trip out there, but that annual trip was heaven, right? It's with family. At the time, you didn't have any cell phone service out there. It's only really recently that they've got it, so you truly unplugged, even against your will at times, and just kind of reconnecting with beautiful beaches. But the family out there, it is we've been blessed to have our own family retreat spot for a very long time. And it's just a great place to go and reconnect with what's really important.